Hello, let's now go ahead and see how we can explore different types of functionality on our cloud providers. The first of the functionality that you can see is the ability to be able to go to datacenters.microsoft.com/globe/explore. There we can choose based on our requirements what type of data centers would be most appropriate for us. For example, I can go into the view mode, and instead of looking at all the data centers, I can choose only the ones using the map, all right, which is most relevant. Or I can also view the globe. Either way is fine. In the legend, instead of looking at all the regions, I will check which are the ones which are available now for me. And there too, I can select certain criteria. Say, for example, I want to check wherein where are the data centers that comply with the HIPAA regulation. These I can select, and then I can check that the data centers which comply in the for the HIPAA regulation are within. So I can select my uh, requirements. For example, I may say I need HIPAA along with FINRA. All right, so I can have two of these. All right, and then I can check whether these two are eligible or not. I can also go ahead and I can look for other types of standards. So say I want to have SOX regulation. So I can select the data centers which have SOX compliance, and I see that the data centers which are SOX compliance are here. I can click on that, and I can also check on check on details of the other types of industry compliance that are available here. And I can read a little bit about that standard. All right, so these are all the different types of uh, mechanisms in place to be able to identify the regions which are most important. Now, what if I want to select, say, Central US? I want to select the region Central US, and there I want to deploy my data center. I want to check the costing that I would be supposed to have. So I will go into my azure.microsoft.com in -US pricing calculator, and there I will go ahead and I will select my, say, virtual machines. Inside the virtual machines, I can go in and I can select what I'm looking for. So I can select, say, the virtual machines which are which is having 2 vCPUs, 8 GB RAM, 50 GB, or I can actually choose maybe something which has 32 vCPUs. All right, so different types of there. I will switch it to Central US because I was looking for the Central US area, and then because I wanted to look at it from the point of view of compliance, I can say I would like Linux, and I would like to have a standard tier, and then I can see how many instance categories, etc. I would need. If I am willing to invest on 1 year or 3 year plans, I can go ahead and I can restrict them here, or if I want a reserved instance. So based on that, I can select if I know I will keep them for the next couple of years, I can choose them. I can have bandwidth related requirements if I wanted to choose any. So based on that, I can compute an amount and I can keep an estimate of how much cost would be needed for me. I can also choose. So say I want at least 5 machines like these. I can change the costing, and then I can update the costing based on that. All right. So based on my requirements, I can update my costing and I can reflect it in my assessments. In a similar fashion, I can also do the same for Azure, where I can, just like Azure, I can do it for the AWS portal. I can do aws.amazon.com, go to about-AWS, go to global infrastructure, and then regions_AZ. There I can see what are the different types of data centers and their locations. I can see multiple data centers here, including in South America. I can see some in Europe. I can see in Middle East. I can see in Africa. There is one data center in Cape Town, Asia Pacific. I can see some data centers in Malaysia. I can see one in China and Australia and New Zealand. Again, I can go ahead and I can see the data centers that I have. Then I can also further go ahead and do a pricing based on what I need. So here in the pricing, again, I can create an estimate. There I can select the region. So say I want to have a region which is Canada Central, and then I can choose the service. So say I will say EC2, which is the virtual machine here. I will say EC2 and I will say configure. And then I can choose, say, 5 instances. And within this, let me choose the instance which is T4G, and I can create my plan, and then I can show the calculations to see how it is working, if I need additional block storage, etc. And then uh, I can say, show me the computation. If there are any additional costs, add a placeholder, data transfer, which these are optional services. Then I can try to compute. All right. So right now there is no upfront. Say I want to make a partial upfront payment. All right. So they have given partial upfront payment. Let me say save and add service. And then I can try to view the summary to see what would be the actual cost. All right. So I can go ahead and I can estimate the cost of my environment by looking through the pricing calculators, which is some of the things that a cloud service professional may be required to do.